Hey everyone, guess what? We're back again with another dungeon guide video. So, as always, just like in every other dungeon guide video up until now, we do not have any champion points allocated in the group you see in the video. So this we're doing without CP. So here we are, we're going to venture into Selene's web. Apparently we prematurely ended negotiations between the Wood Elves and the Mages Guild. So we're just going to keep going and just kind of pretend that didn't happen. If you are interested in the story of the dungeon, by all means, it is a very interesting one. It is actually one of the few ones I think they should make a sequel to, in like a different, maybe a Selene's Web 2 storyline. But anyway, I digress. Here we are, we're just going to go through Selene's Web. We're going to encounter all sorts of trash. We're going to encounter like spiders, hoarvers, Wood Elves, mages. This guy in particular is the first boss, and he actually does a mechanic you'll see on the last boss where he just draws you in like a spider and then unleashes the bats from hell. But it doesn't matter because he's just standing there like an idiot, and your group will kill him pretty quickly, and you're gonna keep going. Now, this dungeon has quite a few twists and turns, so you want to go to the left first after you kill that boss. And of course, you know, if you see heavy sec, just stop your group and be like, alright, we gotta pick up this heavy sec, man. Gotta get my first or second mount with 10,000 gold. The second boss we're going to encounter here pretty soon. It's an archer boss, can be very annoying, especially when his ads come into play. And if you want to kind of set up the location for this boss fight, if you crouch, you see all these traps highlighted, and it's really easy to disarm them, and you can do it fairly quickly. Do this if your group needs a bit more room to maneuver around. It can be tough the first time tanking the cats while DPSing the boss and the ads down, because the boss can move a bit and the ads do come back alive every time you kill them, so it's really annoying. And this boss has kind of like a big shield that protects him from pretty much everything. So even your lightning heavy attack, your bow light attacks will just not go through or get reflected back at you. And here he goes. He brings back his cats. Long Claw will move around, and every time he moves, he's going to leave a poison AoE behind, which means you guys cannot stand in that poison AoE. Otherwise, you'll take too much damage. This also goes for the tank, so be careful to not take too much damage. There he goes. He leaves another AoE behind as he moves a second time. But hopefully with enough DPS, your group can clear it. Typically, most groups can take between 3 to 4 groups of AoEs, 2 to 4 AoEs. And here we did with 2 AoEs. And if you're the tank, try to taunt the ads as they come out. They will die fairly quickly as long as they're in the damage over time abilities put on by the DPS. So expect to keep taunting them if they are a hassle to the group. And here we're gonna encounter the more arachnid family members of Selene's Web. So, if the title of the dungeon didn't really give you a clue, yes, this dungeon will have spiders. So, if you have severe arachnophobia, this and Spindle Clutch 1 are not the dungeons for you, because there's a lot of spiders, and there's gonna be a huge ass spider just walking around the dungeon, as you'll see. This is not a spider, this is a huge queen hoarver, and the only mechanic this bug boss does is this big AoE around a particular target. It doesn't hurt too much as long as your healer keeps up the heals, but you generally don't want that to overlap on your other group members if you have the AoE on you. So as you can see, we are kind of making a U-turn after we killed Long Claw. So we're going to go back the way we came through the middle route, killing all these ads along the way. And do be careful again with these ads, because if you stand in too many AoEs, you can die, even if they do look a bit harmless, albeit disgusting harmless creatures. And we're going to encounter Foulhide here. It's just a big, giant teddy bear. We don't know the backstory of why it's so big. Let's just say it went through a nuclear incident or something in Selene's web. Anyway, we're gonna kill this bear. There's two mechanics, or rather three mechanics Foulhide does. The first one, he summons these stranglers. These don't necessarily CC you, they just kinda are there. They seem bugged as of late. They usually spit out poison globs. The second mechanic he does is a charge, and usually after the first or second charge he does a fear, which you can break out of. But other than that, Foulhide, although not the titular boss for Selene's Web monster set, which is just Selene's, he is the inspiration behind Selene's special bear move that people will see on that monster set in PvP or PvE. It's a pretty good set at the moment. And then after you kill Foulhide, you're just gonna, again, retrace your steps back to the middle route. As I mentioned previously, there's gonna be a few twists and turns, and this is just one of them. You'd expect you keep going after you kill a boss, but you have to kind of retrace your steps back in this dungeon. And here we have yet another boss. Not really a boss, kind of like a mini boss. All she honestly does is throw this fear ball at you. You can dodge it or bash her interruptible. Other than that, it's not a very challenging fight. She'll have a few spider or hoarver ads nearby, but that's about it. And that's it. Many Legs was not a very big challenge. However, the next boss, the final boss of Selene's Web, Selene, will actually be a fairly tough challenge. And we got a few more trash pools here. And again, like I said earlier, don't stand in stupid, or rather make sure the tank has everything taunted and such. Or just kind of hang back a little before the tank engages the mob. Disgusting looking, harmless looking, but still very dangerous. Actually, a lot of the most potent spider bites in our world, on Earth, come from pretty small spiders. So these are pretty huge. So I think their fangs alone would hurt as they pierce into your fleshy human skin. But again, I digress. This will be the last trash you pretty much kill up ahead here. You got a few wood elves, hoarvers, and spiders. Sometimes there's a spider or two hanging back in those trees to my left over there, but the tank has already chained them. Make sure you kill every one. And then you go across this kind of makeshift bridge, this natural bridge, and you're gonna run into Selene here, a really big spider, the big spider that you've been seeing, running around and empowering or helping those other bosses fight us. And just like a few other dungeons in this game, they still haven't fixed this in combat thing. You kind of have to crouch to read the scroll for Hardman. So there you go. And we're gonna make sure our group is ready to go. And they are ready to go, presumably. And we're gonna engage Selene here. The first phase of this fight is pretty easy. Just does a heavy attack on the tank. and you guys just should be able to DPS it down, heal through her basic attacks. Once you get her down to around 60 or 50%, she's gonna tangle you up and destroy the web that she probably spent a few months making. And you're gonna all tumble down, not take fall damage though, because this is part of the fight. And you're going to keep DPSing the spider over here. And then you're gonna get the surprise of your life. Probably more shocking than How to Catch a Predator. And she turns out to be a fairly attractive lady called Selene. And she does the same move we saw the first boss does, except to a greater degree of damage. So you don't want to stay in that AoE for too long. And she does that big bear Kono AoE that we see on the Selene monster set. That is a one-shot. If you have a ridiculous amount of health as a tank, you can survive it. However, in general, for most tanks in this game, it is a one-shot. So you just kind of want to sidestep it. Obviously, make sure the DPS are not in the way. You want to turn it away from the group. If you guys are having trouble with these ads while contending with Selene, there's options of moving her to a different part of this map. You can take her into a corner over here in the alcove, and this ads will naturally stream in, and you can chain them in easily as a tank. And as a DPS, you guys can stand against the wall and not get hit by these random ads that are hitting us right now. But other than that, that's all she pretty much does. Summons ads, traps you in with the webs, and does a big bat swarm AoE, and then she does that one shot, and there goes our tank, as that is again a one shot for most tanks, especially with people, you know, not with too much CP. And we're just gonna try to finish off Selene's here. Her basic attacks and her heavy attacks don't do too much as long as you heal through them or avoid them. The only ability you have to look out for as a DPS is her tonal AoE. And that's it. Congratulations on completing Selene's Web Hard Mode. Thank you guys so much for watching.